Hello everyone. Subnautica has been on sale on and off, but this is the first time I've noticed the increase in players to this degree. I have noticed about 100 new streamers for Subnautica within the last week or so. This is more than the last time it was on sale. I want to do a spoiler-free recording to help everybody get started. Before I get into that, I want to just talk about why I will recommend Subnautica. Subnautica is I guess you can say building, exploration, and survival game with a story. It's going to be smaller in scale than some other games, but it will certainly last you quite a while depending on how you play. It's one of the many games that I will recommend to others for a multitude of reasons. One, it's actually fun. Two, it has a somewhat interesting story despite being kind of smaller. And three, it gives you plenty to do. Subnautica is one of the few games that I'll recommend whenever I see a Steam sale. Some other examples include Witcher 3, Deus Ex Human Revolution, and Mankind Divided. There are others, of course, but those are just some of them. So, with that out of the way, let me go ahead and go over some mechanics or other information with Subnautica before getting into it. Subnautica expects you to learn everything, but doesn't exactly tell you, either in system messages or otherwise, uh, the things that it wants you to learn, to a certain degree. One of the many things it won't tell you is that the character itself is immune to depth, meaning you can dive as far as you want to, assuming oxygen permits. That certainly does help because there's plenty of different ways to explore going deep down. The game doesn't have an out of bounds like other games do. It won't prevent you from going out of bounds. Instead, it will do something very rude and very trolly to let you know they are out of bounds. The game does have a survival mode, and I don't think that it's really that hard. I've played plenty of other games with a survival mode, such as Fallout New Vegas and some others. I really don't see Subnautica as being all that difficult with survival. It really is just a matter of keeping on top of the four circles you see at the bottom left of my screen, which isn't really hard to keep up with. Okay, with that out of the way, I will now talk about starting out. Everything you see on my screen is blueprints you have access to right from the start, which would be all these icons you see, plus what you're seeing on the screen. So let's go and go outside so I can show you all this. The one of the many blueprints that you start with is the compartments. They come in different shapes. I think one's called an X. This one's an L compartment. I think there's an S compartment, and I forget the other ones. But point is, there's all these different compartments. You can build these at the very start. So you want to do that because of storage. The game gives you three options at the start for storage, all different variations of that storage. So you have the waterproof locker, which is a deployable that has to be launched into the water. Then you have the wall lockers and the bigger lockers. The wall lockers have to be mounted inside a structure like this compartment. That's why I'm recommending that you build a compartment as soon as you can. The way you do that is through this tool called the Habitat Builder. It kind of looks like a back massager, well, portable one, but it's for use for building buildings. That's how you build these compartments. When you build a compartment, you have to build a hatch, which you can see here, and then once you get inside, you can build wall lockers. You will also have to build a solar panel for power at the very start. So keep that in mind. You do hatch, lockers, and solar panel. That's kind of the short version of it. Now, let's go ahead and talk about some more advanced tactics with the tube, or a compartment. You'll notice there's this long pipe running down. and this pipe leads up towards this pump here. This is a base attached oxygen pump. You can build the pipes in the fabricator. You can build, I think it's 5 for every resource or something like that. But anyways, you can kind of snake them in any direction you want to. As you can see, I've snaked this one down towards this cave so I can get oxygen at the entrance. This is one of many ways that you can um, get deeper down into Subnautica. Of course, these compartments will also provide oxygen for you when going inside, so you do have 2 ways of getting oxygen. With this all mentioned, I want to quickly deviate into a topic. A lot of people are going to say, oh, this is the best way to do Subnautica, this or that. Subnautica gives you a number of ways to complete the game. You can do it by vehicle, or you can do it by character. Speedrunners use a certain handheld vehicle, which I won't mention because I'm avoiding spoilers, but said handheld vehicle is what the speedrunners use to get through the entire game, for the most part. There's of course something they have to do at the end, and that's all dependent on RNG, but completely different story. While on RNG, I do want to talk about some stuff related to resources and things. In Subnautica, your spawn point, as well as the resources that are around you and blueprints and whatnot, are all RNG. That means you could do one playthrough and end up in one spot, or you can do another playthrough and end up a completely different spot. Do not rely on people guiding you or you running on a preset path to a certain degree, because you will run into a bit of confusion, because let's just say you found a certain pathway that works for you and then it doesn't. Well, there's your problem. It's because everything switched on you. Seem to be a bit lost here, so give me just a moment here. I wanted to show you one more thing, but I'm a bit lost and it's very hard to for me to see because it's nighttime, but blast it all, whatever. Anyways, I'll see if I can just describe it. Another thing to be aware of in Subnautica is, as you explore, you will notice a hole in the ground that makes a very loud explosion sound. The explosion is followed by bits of air and water spurting up. Whenever you hear that, go find it and make a mental note of where it is. The reason you want to make a mental note of the exploding hole is because it interacts with blueprints you get later on. Blueprints that, in my opinion, make it easier with construction. I'll put it that way. But beyond that, that's really all I can say without spoiling Subnautica for you, so I will end it here. Thanks for listening.